My video cut out, but as I was saying about hyper awareness of your bodily functions. So if I feel, I hate to say it because talking about this has caused me some anxiety, and I'm really uncomfortable right now, but hyper awareness of your body. So breathing, blinking, um, causes distress because once you start thinking about it, you feel like you will never stop thinking about it, and it almost becomes a sort of fear where I will never return to an unconscious state like I was before. Like, I will never stop focusing on my breathing and it will drive me insane. Um, so, doing research on this, because I wasn't even sure if there was any type of therapy for this or cure for this. But I guess it's sort of the same thing with OCD, exposure response therapy. So, based on the International OCD Foundation, it says the first stage of treating this type of OCD is selective attention. So, obviously, um, bringing your attention to that. I mean, your attention's already on it, but um, okay, reading up on it is what I'm doing. I'm refreshing my memory before I try to talk to you. Um, when you are not thinking about it anymore, selective attention is teaching yourself to now say, okay, well, now I'm going to focus on it. Well, it's not bothering me, but now I'm going to make it bother me, sort of a sense. To say, okay, I'm going to think about this sensation. It's not causing me any stress right now. I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to do that on my as a choice. So that's the first step. The second step is um, exposure and response prevention, which is ERP, which is the type of therapy that goes through all of the OCD compulsions and disorders. So, the first thing is inviting the sensation in, selective um, attention. The second thing is outsmarting that distress by voluntarily paying attention to it. Um, when you invite this type of sensation in, so if you're okay, and then you say, okay, now I'm going to think about the sock sensation on my foot. I have invited that sensation in, something that usually would cause me distress, and now I'm going to say, okay, now I'm not gonna try to worry about it. I'm just gonna focus on it. And by sitting here and it really, ERP is a very brutal way of therapy because you're essentially forcing yourself to put up with or go put yourself through what is causing you distress without doing anything about it. So if you say, okay, I feel the sensation of the sock on my foot and it is uncomfortable. Now, instead of playing it in your head and saying, okay, this is crazy, this is causing me distress, I hate this, I'm going to take my sock off. It's a very shallow example, but the only way for your brain to overcome OCD and these types of obsessions is to bring yourself aware of it and then essentially sit there and embrace it, basically. So if, say, my I feel very dumb saying this, but I'm trying to explain it in the way that I know possible. So instead of saying, I'm just going to take my sock off and it's going to be fine, and that's my reaction to this exposure, response prevention is the next part. So preventing me from taking my sock off and then allowing myself to sit here and feel this distress and feel this fear until it's over is the only way that my brain will process it. So if I'm noticing my blinking, instead of trying to distract myself and stop that, the only way to overcome it is to just feel it and let it pass. So I don't know if that makes any sense. I will probably try to do more research on it, but that's just one thing that has been really bothering me these past few days. My computer's about to die, so I'm not trying to rush, and I'm not, but it is a lot, and basically, I feel like in my mind, exposure response prevention is the most brutal way of trying to. Anyone could tell me how to deal with this. Um, you're voluntarily causing yourself distress, and you just have to sit with it until it's done. So.